Hey guys, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to a fantastic Tuesday evening. Hope you've had a good day so far. Hope you've all had a good week. And I hope you're all looking forward to the rest of this brand new week in August 2024 this year. First of all, do me a massive favour for me. Hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. United Red Devils 20. Share the video, hit the tweet button, hit the retweet button. Remember to always remember that notification bell. Put that bell on at all times so you receive dedicated, upcoming, brand new content we have got planned for the rest of 2024 this year on this channel, with brand new videos, brand new shorts, brand new live streams, much more brand new gaming content as well. And we have got transfer deadline day covered right up till Friday's deadline at 11 o'clock on Friday evening, and plenty of transfer news and news from Manchester United Football Club as well in the last few days of this transfer window. But after what has been a long 2-month negotiation with PSG, after the longest saga since Frankie de Jong, the longest saga since Adrien Rabiot, Manchester United have finally got the midfielder that we have been chasing since the 18th of July. It's taken a month and 9 days to finally get Manuel Ugarte to Manchester United. Here we go. I'm just pleased this saga's over, because it has taken over 2 months and 9 days to get this Manuel Ugarte deal done. And I'm just finally relieved and a bit more stress-free that we have finally got the player and the midfielder that we were desperately crying out for. We got the Manuel Ugarte to Manchester United 7 hours ago on this Tuesday day. Manuel Ugarte to Manchester United is here we go. Deal sealed between clubs after personal terms that were agreed in July. 50 million euros fixed fee plus 10 million in add-ons for the final package. Ugarte will travel to Manchester as he only wanted United, and United only wanted him, and the deal is done. It's a massive relief for me. I think it's going to be a massive relief for the fans and the supporters and for Manuel Ugarte himself, because this has been a long saga. If we're going to be really honest about it, I do feel sorry for him that he has have to wait 2 months just to get his move. Like, it's been a long wait for Ugarte. I think it's been a long wait for Manchester United, but I think the relief is there that we finally have the midfielder that we've been chasing. And what, the words coming out of Manchester United is that Manchester United believe Manuel Ugarte is one of the best midfielders in world football, which, considering, we really wanted him, that says a lot about the quality of player that we are getting in that midfield. And I think the quality he is going to bring is going to be absolutely night and day to the midfield that we've currently got with Mainu, Fernandes, Casemiro, Mount, Ericsson. And obviously that is our midfield options now, because obviously Scott McTominay is going to go to Napoli. Hopefully we will get the here we go from that today. But the only downside is today that McTominay is still in Manchester. He hasn't flew to Napoli yet. We haven't got that here we go from Fabrizio Romano yet either. So hopefully that McTominay deal will get over the line, and Ugarte is still not in Manchester to undergo his medical, and apparently that medical will not be happening today. So the medical for Ugarte will most likely happen tomorrow. But, it would have been nice to have got him involved at the weekend's game against Liverpool, which we are going to do that preview for the Liverpool game. I think we're going to do it on Wednesday afternoon or Wednesday evening later, because I simply do not have time to do that Liverpool preview in the early hours of Wednesday morning, because I want to try and fit some F124 in tonight as well. But it's a massive relief that United have finally got the midfield they wanted. I just wish they didn't have dragged it on for 2 months. I think that's the only downside to this deal, that, I really was pushing Manchester United to get this Ugarte deal done. And I think the relief is there, and the smiles there, because I think the midfielder we're getting is going to take Manchester United's midfield to the next level. And I think we will stop seeing the midfield mistakes that we currently have in all the options we have available to us, because we've really now got a depleted midfield, because Hannibal Mabry's gone, Scott McTominay's going to Napoli, and the only midfield options we've really got now will be Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes, Kobe Mainu, Mason Mount, and obviously Manuel Ugarte. Those will be Manchester United's only 5 midfielders left that will have in our midfield rota, because I still expect Christian Eriksen to leave Manchester United before the deadline on Friday night. But it's a massive relief that this deal's done. I think there's going to be a lot of stress. I think there's going to be a lot of pressure taken off the fans and supporters now because, the midfielder we're getting, I think he's been badly treated by PSG. I can't believe how they've basically kept him out the squad in their last 2 league games. But obviously, that was due to the fact that Manuel Ugarte has absolutely been pushing and pushing and pushing. He must have been pushing more than a pregnant lady because at the end of the day, this is what you get from a player that I think absolutely gets Manchester United and what Manchester United is all about. We don't see a lot of players like this push for the move. And I think what we're getting with Ugarte is commitment, loyalty, and dedication that once he's a Manchester United player, he's going to give his absolute all for the shirt. I think he'll give his absolute all for the badge. And I think a lot of those midfielders we've got now are absolutely going to be shitting themselves because how they're going to get back in this Man United team, I don't think they will. I think the midfielders we've got currently are now going to be absolutely bricking Ugarte coming in because the problem is a lot of those midfielders are now not going to see any game time and they're not going to like it. I think Casemiro is going to look at this Ugarte situation thinking, oh shit, I've basically been replaced with a younger player who, we've been chasing Ugarte since last summer. Was that the midfielder we should have got instead of Amrabat? I think it probably should have been. I think we could have got Ugarte last summer if we would have had competent footballing experts in the club then. We might have got Ugarte last summer over PSG. And he's only been at PSG 1 season, which again is quite concerning that PSG have basically said, you're second-hand goods to Ugarte. We don't want you here. We no longer want you as our player and we want you off our books. And I feel for me, in my view, that he has been treated really, 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 really badly by PSG and by Luis Enrique. And I think obviously PSG are owned by Qatar. And I think, PSG are an oil club. They basically get what they want and they basically get the players they want. And when players they want out of the club, they get rid of quite quickly. And I think with the situation regarding Ugarte, obviously Jorge Mendes, who is Ugarte's agent, was also the agent of João Neves. And obviously João Neves went to PSG from Benfica, which Manchester United were also targeting to bring into their midfield. It would have been nice if we could have got both because that would have improved our midfield massively. And then that would have been the end of McTominay, which it is anyway because he will go to Napoli. Hannibal Mabry has gone to Burnley on a permanent deal. Eriksen, I think that's his future now done. And I think Mason Mount is now going to have to look at the situation as well because he ain't going to get in that team. I do not see now where does Mason Mount fit? Where does Casemiro fit? And where does Eriksen fit? I can't see these three getting back in the Manchester United shirt now that Ugarte's here. I think Ugarte is coming in and basically saying to these players, I'm taking your spot now. I'm going to be guaranteed first team football and I'm guaranteed to start on that first team sheet. You're not getting back in this team over me because I'm bringing quality that you three cannot bring in a Man United shirt. And he probably has watched many Manchester United games and performances with these three in the midfield and basically thinks they can't do the job that I know I can do better. And I think Ugarte is 10 times a better player than Eriksen. He's a 10 times better player than Casemiro. And he's a 10 times better player than Mason Mount's ever going to be in a Man United shirt. And I think those three now are going to have a hard, long look at themselves as well as where the hell do we fit in here? Where do we fit into this situation where we've basically been replaced again by another midfielder? It was the same as the Amrabat situation. Amrabat came in and he was getting ahead of Mount. He was getting ahead of Casemiro. He was getting ahead of Eriksen. And he was getting ahead of Hannibal Mabry. Obviously, Hannibal Mabry's gone. And Amrabat was also getting ahead of Scott McTominay. And Scott McTominay's going as well. But with the news today that Manchester United were really, really reluctant to let McTominay go, it speaks of massive, massive desperation that I deep down think Man United did not want to get rid of Scott McTominay. And I don't get that. I really, really do not get why Manchester United wanted to desperately keep hold of Scott McTominay. And I think with the rumours last night that Erik ten Hag did not want to let McTominay go, that did concern me. That did worry me. because it's like if McTominay does not go, this Ugarte deal on a permanent transfer ain't going to happen. That Ugarte deal would have ended up turning into a loan with an obligation to buy. So we would have had to bought him next summer, which would have come out our summer budget to improve the team at the end of this season, at the end of May. That would have been, for me, an absolute disaster if we wouldn't have got Ugarte in on a permanent now than what it was compared to having him on loan. I think this a permanent deal was absolutely the right deal to go with. I did not want loan deals. I did not want loans with obligations to buy, because if it turned into that situation and Ugarte has a crap season, no matter if he's good or bad, we would have had to bought him anyway, and that money would have been coming out Manchester United's summer budget to improve their squad for next season. That couldn't happen. And obviously, when we got that deal agreed at the weekend between Napoli, Manchester United and McTominay, that deal for Ugarte turned into a permanent deal quite quickly, because Man United then had the money and had the finances to get that Ugarte deal done now, instead of getting it done with a loan with obligation to buy. Because that Ugarte money, if you would have taken out next summer's budget, and apparently next summer's budget is going to be huge. I think we'll see it when we believe it, that Man United's budget next summer is going to be absolutely astronomically huge. We're going to have to pass judgment on that, because if Ugarte wasn't brought, that money's coming out of next summer's budget. I'm just glad this is permanent, because I think loan deals absolutely stink of desperation. I think loan with obligations to buy deals absolutely stink. And I do not think personally Ugarte would have been happy going on loan. Personally, Ugarte wanted to come here. He's been pushing this move since the 18th of July. We are now on the 27th of August. This is transfer deadline day week. The transfer window slams shut at 11 o'clock on Friday night. And I'm kind of hoping we do get this deal over the line and we do get it done, because Ugarte, he's going straight into that team. The only problem is I would have loved to have had him involved at the weekend. And the gutting thing is he ain't having his medical today, and that McTominay is still in Manchester. I'm really hoping none of those deals fall through. And for me, I'm really, really hoping and I'm praying that McTominay gets that here we go tonight to Napoli, because there's the money to get Ugarte. Obviously, the deal's done. It's here we go. We've agreed the deal with PSG. We're just going to have to hope Ugarte has his medical tomorrow. But the problem is he ain't going to play on Sunday, because he had no competitive football this season at all. He's been basically told to go into the PSG skip. We're not using you. You're not going to get picked. You're not going to get selected, and you're not going to be in the team for any of our Liga Un matches. I do feel that's really bad on PSG to really treat Ugarte like that, because remember when they wanted him and they got him, and all of a sudden now they don't want him. Like it speaks barriers of where PSG are as a club. They treat players like shit. And I know a certain other football club that treat their players bad, and it's Chelsea. Like, I can't believe how badly Chelsea are treating their players. I can't believe how bad PSG have treated Ugarte. I think it's disgusting. And I do feel for him. And I also think Manchester United, realistically, have also got to take some of the blame. This should not have taken 2 months to get Ugarte. This Ugarte deal should have been done weeks ago. And I can't believe we are going into the last week of the transfer window. That transfer window opens on June the 14th. So if we count the weeks, how long this transfer window has been open, if we count the weeks, I'm going to tell you how long it has taken Manchester United to get this Ugarte deal done. It stinks. It absolutely stinks. It's taken Manchester United 12 fucking weeks to get Ugarte. Manchester United have got to take some responsibility on how long this has been allowed to be dragged out for. And what I was begging Man United to do is give PSG what they want. And what have they gone and done? They've gone and give PSG what they wanted. If Manchester United wanted to get that done, they could have got it done a lot quicker. I don't understand why Manchester United didn't just get this deal done with PSG in July. Personal terms were agreed with Ugarte on the 18th of July. That is when talks were opened, terms were agreed with the player wanted out of PSG wanted rid of him, and Manchester United have dragged this deal. Man United needed Ugarte for Fulham. They needed Ugarte for Brighton, and he wasn't anywhere near the team because Manchester United did not get that deal agreed at PSG. Man United have acted really, really slowly in this transfer window. I don't think we've been efficient. I don't think we've been fast. I don't think we've been quick because we dragged the Xerxes deal along. We did it with Yoro. We did it with De Ligt. We did it with Mazraoui. But the one that's taken the piss with the midfielder, Ugarte, look how patiently he's waited. And there was rumours a few weeks ago that we were going to walk away. We weren't going to sign him. We weren't going to give PSG what they want. Remember when David Ornstein put that tweet out weeks ago that Manchester United are going to walk away from Ugarte and they're going to go and explore other options that are more feasible and more financial better for the club. That, for me, was a scare-mongering statement. Man United put it out there that they were going to walk away. They're not going to sign Ugarte. And do you know what? I think PSG have shat the bed. I think PSG have absolutely shat themselves thinking, oh, shit. We've just signed João Neves, and now Man United are threatening to walk away from the Ugarte deal if we don't get a deal agreed with them. I think PSG have had to lower their demands. I think PSG have eventually had to give in to what Manchester United have offered them. And yes, it is 60 million euros. That is what we've been quoted by PSG all summer long. Do not forget that. Remember when Man United came out and said, we are not going to overpay this summer and we are not going to give in to the demands of the selling club. We've seen in the last 3 deals with Ugarte, De Ligt and Mazraoui, we've had to give Bayern Munich and PSG respectively what they've wanted all summer long. So Man United come out and, give high fives to all the board, Dan Ashworth and Sir Jim Ratcliffe and all the others. But at the end of the day, you've basically put yourself into a corner now because you said we're not going to overpay and we're not going to bend over. You've had to give PSG what they wanted in the end just to get Ugarte. So Ugarte is going to be a world-class signing. This midfield is going to go to an elite status once Ugarte is in that midfield selection. And the other midfielders, I would start looking for options now if I were you, because Eriksen won't play for Man United again. I don't think Casemiro will play for United again. We know McTominay is gone. Hannibal Mabry is gone. Mason Mount is going to be another one on that chopping block. If we can get rid of Mason Mount and we can get rid of Casemiro and Eriksen, I don't think we're going to do that before the deadline. I still think all 3 of them are going to be here, but all 3 of them are going to be bench options because I think what's going to have to happen now, we're going to put Ugarte in that CDM role with Mainu and Fernandes. Fernandes will be removed from that false 9 and we'll finally put a striker down the middle who can actually score us goals to win us games because that's what we've done in the last 2 games. We did it against Fulham and we did it against Brighton. Manchester United had to play a false 9 because the options Erik ten Hag had weren't good enough. And Man United in the end have had to get the Ugarte deal done. If this Ugarte deal would have dragged on till Wednesday, Thursday, I don't think we would have got Ugarte. I think Man United have had to push the button now to get the deal done because Man United have run out of time. I can't believe we are again, we still haven't signed and completed the deal. We've agreed the deal with PSG, but the problem is he still hasn't had his medical. He's still in Paris. McTominay isn't in Naples yet to have his Napoli medical because we've not got that here we go yet. And Man United are trying to give McTominay a payoff. I don't understand why we're giving McTominay a payoff, by the way. I don't think it makes no sense. I think McTominay has been absolutely fucking useless for this football club. And I cannot believe we are trying all of a sudden to think that's a good idea, giving McTominay a payoff. He's been absolutely fucking useless. I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry. I think, McTominay, I personally do not think he deserves a payoff because I don't think for me he's done anything for this football club. I really, really don't. I really, really don't. I don't get why McTominay wants a payoff. He's been absolutely useless. And with the statement this morning, Man United were reluctant to do it. Well, I bet they told Eric Ten Hag is either we don't get Ugarte and you keep McTominay, who you're not using, by the way. Let's remember that. Man United aren't using McTominay. The last 3 games spoke volumes. He's not part of the plans here. And Ineos have basically told Ten Hag, and what we got last night was is that we're making the decisions here. This isn't us or them. This is we're making the decisions now. Eric Ten Hag can moan, cry, and scream and kick about as much as he wants about McTominay. I'm really sorry to say, though, his time was up. His time has been up under Mourinho. His time was up under Solskjaer. His time was up under Ragnick. And his time was up under Ten Hag. And what Ineos are doing, they're clearing out the dead wood. Yes, not enough of players have been sold. Casemiro shouldn't be here. Eriksen shouldn't be here. Sancho shouldn't be here. Rashford and Anthony, Maguire, Lindelof, Luke Shaw, Malacia. That's still 9 players that have survived another transfer window that should have been told you're going no matter what. Not enough players have been sold, because if Man United would have sold Eriksen and Casemiro, and obviously Mabry's gone, I guarantee you McTominay would have stayed. I think McTominay would have stayed. I think you'd have been given a new contract, and I think Ten Hag would have been absolutely delighted he would have been kept. But Man United have had 2 options, and I think Ineos have laid down the law here, and I back Ineos on this decision. McTominay had to go. If you want Ugarte, McTominay's the paperweight here. You get rid of him, he brings in money, which is pure profit, and plus we've got 9.5 million from Hannibal Mabry going to Burnley. We've absolutely rinsed Burnley, by the way. We've got nearly 10 million from Hannibal Mabry. But what annoys me, I see fans wishing McTominay and Hannibal Mabry all the best. I'm really sorry. I don't know why you are, because I don't call you Man United fans. Hannibal Mabry was never good enough. Scott McTominay was never good enough. And then you're basically saying, we're sad that you're going, but thanks for everything you've done. They did fuck all in their careers at United. I'm really sorry. They did absolutely fuck all in that team. They hardly got first team football because they were shit. We've had to bring in better players because Ten Hag deep down knows they're not good enough. Ten Hag's probably sat there complaining and moaning, why is McTominay gone? Why is McTominay gone? Because we wanted Ugarte. We wanted Ugarte last summer. If we'd have had Ineos in last summer, I guarantee you they would have got rid of Eriksen then. They would have got rid of Casemiro then. They would have got rid of Hannibal Mabry, and they probably would not have signed Mount. And we would have got better players in that position to move Manchester United forward as a bloody football club. They've had to bring Ugarte in now because this might be a situation where Manchester United live to regret not getting Ugarte. And you know what? If I was Ugarte, I would absolutely rub this Man United move in right in PSG's face, because I think they've treated him really badly. They should have let him go at a cheaper price. Man United have overpaid. But at the end of the day, it's either win or bust here. If you don't get Ugarte, we might not get this option again. Because what if a Barcelona or Real Madrid or a Bayern Munich or a Chelsea or a Liverpool or even a Man City would have come in for him? He would have gone. I think if Man United wouldn't have got this deal done and Ugarte would have been mugged off, I think Ugarte would be like, do you know what, United? Screw you. You've basically made me wait 2 months. I think Man United and PSG have shown a complete lack of respect, a complete lack of dedication and commitment to getting the player. And I think, do you know what? Both clubs have taken the piss. This should have not have gone till the last week of the transfer window. This should have been done weeks ago. Why it's taken time is because we've needed to sell. But again, we didn't need to sell. That's the big problem. United have PR'd it all summer that sell to buy, financial fair play has been the biggest obstacle, and PSR has been the biggest problem that has faced Man United this summer. It's absolute bullshit again. Man United are with the fairies. They're absolutely in dreamland that they can come up with so many bollocks excuses to get away with a shit transfer window. I still think we've had a shit transfer window, by the way. We've not sold enough and we've not brought enough. I still think at the moment, out of 10, I'm giving this transfer window a 4. Because at the moment, we've only signed 4 players. That was not enough to rebuild this team. Remember, we got told there's going to be immediate change at Man United. Well, it should have been 15 players out and 10 should have been brought in. I don't think Ugarte is going to be the last signing because obviously I've been to see my brother this afternoon. He's good. He's in a really good place. And, you know, I've had to go and see him because obviously I care about my brother. I love him to bits. But this ain't going to be the end of the transfer window, because what we've seen today soon is breaking that United and Chelsea are now in talks with Raheem Sterling and Jadon Sancho in a swap deal. So Chelsea get Sancho, we get Sterling. Again, I am not a big fan of this deal. I think this stinks. Like, moving away from Ugarte for a little bit, for the next 5 or 10 minutes, I don't want Raheem Sterling. For me, Liverpool reject, Manchester City reject, and now a Chelsea reject. But now United are in talks with Chelsea with a swap deal for Sancho. Are people going to be happy seeing Raheem Sterling in a Manchester United shirt? He's been a boyhood Man United fan, but what I don't like is he treated Liverpool like shit when he went to City. He's now treated City like shit because he went to Chelsea. But the Chelsea situation bothers me. They buy all these players and then basically tell, well, you can go now. Sterling is approaching 30 years of age in December. He's approaching 30 years of age. But I'm not a big fan of the deal as in terms of a swap, but I want it to be a swap deal with no money involved. The problem and the obstacle is the wages both players are on, because Sterling's on 300 grand a week at Chelsea. Sancho's on about the same at Manchester United. This would have to be a straight swap deal that feats Manchester United's financial restraints. Again, we'll see that again. And we are going to get clarification on the Sancho Sterling thing in the next few hours. And I hope we do. And I think, you know, if we're going to have to accept Raheem Sterling, he's going to be a Manchester United player. I think we are going to have to accept that he is going to be playing for Man United this season. Raheem Sterling will be in a Man United shirt. And United are considering Sterling, but also remain in talks with Juventus regarding Sancho. Sterling would have to come on favourable terms that give financial gain. United insist they do not want to pay significant wages for Sancho to go on loan without permanent sale in sight. So this tells me that we are desperately considering Sancho and Sterling in a swap deal. Are Man United fans going to be happy with that, seeing Sterling playing a Man United shirt? And I think for me, if we have to do that deal, then we are going to have to do it. And we are going to have to accept Sterling if we like it or lump it. Obviously, this might be a positive. And what I'm going to say is, this might end Antony's career at United, and this might send a message to Marcus Rashford. If we can get Sterling in and we get Sancho out, Sancho's a bad egg. All this, you know, he's happy he's back at United and him and Ten Hag have buried the hatchet. That was PR to cover up that there's still a big problem between manager and player. Would Eric Ten Hag accept Raheem Sterling? And would Sterling, you know, end Antony's career at this club? It probably would. And I think it would also send a message to Rashford. You're also on the chopping block here. And Sterling might go straight into the team. You might see a completely different front three. It could be Sterling, Garnacho, Xerxes, Rashford on the bench. It could be Sterling, Ahmad, Rashford. No, Sterling, Ahmad, and Xerxes. It could be Garnacho, Xerxes, Sterling. Like, Sterling would be coming in. I think would get first team football, because we've done a swap deal with Chelsea and we're trying to do that deal. And I did call it last night, and I was having a chat with my mate who's also another massive Man United fan. And I said, this Sterling Sancho thing's going to happen. And push comes to shove, as soon as I get home from seeing my brother, that Jadon Sancho discussions are serious now, real option for Chelsea. They are going to have to offer a good swap deal. I hope Chelsea aren't going to want money as well as Sancho. I'm sorry to say, if they want money in Sancho, they can fucking do one. I do not want to have to pay Chelsea money to bring I do not want to be bringing Sterling. I can see Sterling happening. I really can. I really can. I think this deal is close to happening because the clubs are in talks to do the deal. And I think, would we accept that it would be the end? And again, what we're seeing now, Eric Ten Hag wasn't keen on Ugarte. Absolute bullshit. And wanted to keep Scott McTominay. Could Ten Hag not have used his veto to stop the transfer from happening? And again, we are seeing again Ten Hag as being very negative. I think Ten Hag is pissed that McTominay's going. I think he's absolutely fuming McTominay's going. But at the end of the day, you know, I wanted Ugarte. The fans wanted Ugarte. The supporters wanted Ugarte. Manchester United really, really wanted Ugarte. And I think the club wanted him as well. And, you know, I wanted Ugarte to improve their midfield. I wanted Ugarte in because it stops us using Casemiro. It stops us using Mount. It stops us using Eriksen. McTominay and Hannibal Mabry are going to be gone. If you can shift Eriksen, that's then Casemiro, Mount, Mainu, Fernandes, Ugarte. We would then need another midfielder if Eriksen goes. And, you know, keep an eye on Adrian Rabiot because Rabiot is there on a free. Rabiot is there on a free. Would we bring Rabiot in? And we've just had a tweet from Darmesh Chef from Sky Sports saying Napoli are finalising the terms of Scott McTominay's contract. All being well, McTominay is expected to fly to Italy tomorrow for medical and sign off his personal terms. So McTominay to Napoli's done. So that's a positive going in the right direction that McTominay's going to be gone. And I don't think, you know, and again, we have got a bit of an update on Sterling. We are hearing that the news on Raheem Sterling to Man United are true. So we are basically going to give Chelsea a Sancho. We are going to give Sterling will come to Manchester United. And I think, you know, I think that's going to happen. Do not be surprised if we're going to get another here we go from Romano and United. Raheem Sterling to Manchester United, Jadon Sancho to Chelsea. I think getting Sancho off the books was a big thing. I mean, would you give Sterling a 2-year contract or a 3-year contract if we signed him? Or would you give him a year contract? And it's a tough one. It really, really is. It really, really is. It is a tough one. But again, we are signing players. We are signing players. I mean, if we get the Ugarte deal done, which we have when he signed, and if we get Sterling, that's 6 new faces. That is 6 new players that have been brought in to Manchester United this summer. And again, I mean, 6 is better than none at all. Imagine if we said the squad's good enough to go again for the next season. I think we would have struggled. I really, really think we would have struggled to get top 4 European football. I think we would have struggled. And we just had a tweet from Rani. I understand Chelsea and Al Hilal remain the 2 clubs in active talks of Victor Osimhen. Al Hilal are still trying to convince Osimhen after the agreement on the €65 million package of Napoli. Chelsea are still attentive as contacts are ongoing. Separate story to Sancho. So Chelsea still want Sancho no matter what for Osimhen. And Dan Ashworth stayed in Manchester. Wilcox and Matt flew to Paris for Ugarte to oversee negotiations for Scott McTominay's $26 million move to Napoli and Hannibal's move to Burnley, as well as Jadon Sancho's possible departure before the end of the transfer window. But yeah, look, I'm really, really happy we've got that Ugarte deal done. I think it's a relief, really, because, you know, again, Simon Stone has just tweeted, Manchester United have held explanatory talks over a deal to sign Raheem Sterling. From Chelsea, United sources stress any deal will be on their terms. This is going to happen. This Sterling deal is going to happen. And do you know, watch this space for the next here we go, because Sterling is going to be a Man United player. By the sounds of it, this is going to happen. And, you know, we're going to have to back the signing. I hope Sterling does well. Like, I really, really hope for his benefit that he does well at Manchester United, because I do not want another expensive paperweight on that right wing or that left wing who is not going to get first team football. I would then say, do you know what? Rashford can do one. Anthony can do one. You've then got Ahmad, Sterling, Garnacho, Xerxes, Højlund. You wouldn't need Rashford. You wouldn't need Anthony. And I don't think both players are going to like it. But at the end of the day, lads, you've not been good enough. But, this live stream is to talk about Ugarte, and I'm just buzzing we've got it done. Like, it's a player that really, really excites me. He's really aggressive. He's really forward-thinking. He gets the ball more moving forward quickly. He can sit comfortably in front of that back four in the CDM role that he is. He is a quality CDM, which is a massive, massive upgrade on Casemiro. I mean, I think, Real Madrid plays a really, really, really excellent game with us. They basically sold us an injury-prone, slowing down Casemiro. Like, he's like old slow coach from Thomas the Tank Engine. Remember an old slow coach? And then when Percy and Thomas had to save him from scrap? What Real Madrid done, they played Man United right into their arms. They basically got Manchester United to lay on them and put their arms around. So, do you know what? Would you like Casemiro? We don't really need him anymore. We've got better players in that position already. We don't really need him as a Real Madrid player now. You can basically have him. We don't really need him. And I think, Real Madrid played an absolute baller in that. I think Real Madrid did really, really well to get Man United to get Casemiro done. And, and I think, at the end of the day, it's a good signing. Well, not a good signing. It's been a disaster because Casemiro got figured out under season 2 under Ten Hag. And already after 2 games, he's played 97 fucking minutes in both the Wolves and the Brighton game, and the midfield collapsed. That will not happen if Ugarte plays. I'm just gutted he ain't going to play Sunday. That's my biggest disappointment about this Ugarte deal. He ain't going to play Sunday. I would really, really, really would have loved to have him unveiled in the United team in the starting lineup on Sunday, because I think that midfield will get run through on Sunday. And we'll talk about that on the preview tomorrow, what is going to happen in the midfield now Ugarte's here. Well, he ain't going to play, which is disappointing. I would have really loved him to have had his medical today, and I would have loved for him to have started the game because, we can't carry on this season with Casemiro, Eriksen and Mount. We simply cannot do it. I think those 3 players' futures are done, and like I said, I expect the club to move all 3 of them on next summer. Or even in January. I expect it to be done. I think, time's up for those 3. And I think Ineos have realised, well, we don't want to miss out on Ugarte now. Let's get this deal done. And, Jason Wilcox flew to Paris last night. We now got the truth. That was to get the Ugarte deal done. And I think, fair play to the new board and the new directors and Dan Ashworth and Jason Wilcox being brought into this club and Omar Barada. They're absolutely working what Murta and Arnold couldn't do. And Woodward, those 3 were absolutely incompetent of doing their job properly, and replacing them was pivotal to getting this club moving forward. I think if Ed Woodward was still here and Richard Arnold and John Murta, we wouldn't have signed Xerxes, we wouldn't have signed Gioro, De Ligt, Mazraoui and Ugarte wouldn't be here. They probably would have signed Sterling to get Sancho off the books. So, it's an interesting what would have happened if all them were still here. So, Romana's latest on Sancho. Chelsea's position is we're happy to sign Sancho if Man United take one of the players we don't want, i.e. Sterling. Juventus, trust me, Juventus are still there. They're still working on the deal for Sancho and his agent and Man United, but the salary and form deal is crucial. Man United want loan with buy obligation, an important part of his salary paid. Juventus want loan with buy, which negotiations are ongoing. Yeah, we're not done in this transfer window, ladies and gentlemen. We are not done in this transfer window. We are really, really not done here. I think, Manchester United are going to end up signing Sterling. And I called it late last night. Raheem Sterling is going to be a Manchester United player. And initial talks have taken place between Chelsea and Man United regarding potential Sancho Sterling swap deal. Nothing advanced yet, as in today's notebook, Sancho future unlikely to go down to the wire. I think, I don't want loan deals. I do not want loan deals to either players. I do not want loan deals for either player. It just concerns me that we are going to have Raheem Sterling United shirt. And I think, Raheem Sterling is it speaks of desperation, really, that we are bringing him to the football club. But do we trust Ineos on this decision? Or is this an Erik ten Hag decision to get Sancho out of this football club? Because I don't want Sancho here. I think Sancho is going to end up at Chelsea. And, and Sky Sports News have just said now, Chelsea and Manchester United are in talks over 2 separate deals for Sancho and Sterling, with both deals being seriously considered. It's going to happen. We are going to get another, here we go. We are going to get Sterling to Manchester United. It would not surprise me if we get this deal done by tomorrow or Thursday. It really would not surprise me in the slightest that, it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest we get another here we go, and that is for Raheem Sterling to Man United. I hope it's not loan deals, because that stinks. If we have to take Sterling on a permanent deal, we're going to have to do it. As long as Sancho pisses off, Sancho's out of the club then. United can move forward as a club. This is why Sancho didn't play against Fulham. He didn't play against Brighton. All this stuff that he had an ear infection was bollocks. Absolute bollocks. But again, we celebrate today that it's been a massive positive day. And I've got a smile on my face because we are signing a world-class midfielder that is going to take United's midfield up another level. I'm glad we're doing it because it shows we are starting to get back the club that we want, but results on the pitch matter most. And if Ugarte still isn't playing and Casemiro is still in that squad, we have basically signed another paperweight here that might not have a long career at this club. I'm hoping that is going to be the latter. I'm really, really hoping with Ugarte, Ten Hag sees that, okay, I've moaned about McTominay going and I've had to get on with it. And I'm going to have to understand it. It's the decision of the board to bring me Ugarte. I hope Ten Hag, apparently he didn't want Ugarte. I really hope he does not use him. Because what do we do then? Because if he doesn't use Ugarte and he's still sticking with Casemiro and he's fucked off McTominay's gone, what if we sack Ten Hag, bring another manager? And it's like, well, do you know what? Ten Hag was doing a lot wrong here. Ugarte is a massive upgrade on McTominay. What's Ten Hag moaning about? I think Ten Hag is very sentimental towards some of the players. And that is favouritism there. That's favouritism in my view. I think Ten Hag is very, 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 very sentimental towards some of those players. I think he'll still try and somehow convince McTominay to stay and say you're part of the plans. That ain't going to happen because he's now negotiating his exit and that deal to Napoli's close to happening. So, again, we are celebrating that McTominay's gone. I mean, whoever thought we would get rid of McFred? Let's be honest, who thought that would happen? We'd get rid of Fred and we'd get rid of McTominay. I'm going to hold both my hands up. I never expected Man United to get rid of either, but we've got rid of McFred. We have got rid of the McDonald's menu. Like, thank God, Ineos have seen sense and they've overruled Ten Hag. That is what you call proper footballing people running this club properly. Fuck the Glazers. At the end of the day, Ineos are doing what Glazers did wrong. Ineos are trying to get this club back to where it needs to be. And they're getting the players we need to get to that next level. And they see that with De Ligt. They see that with Mazraoui. They see it with Xerxes. They see it with Yoro. And exactly with Yoro, Ugarte. He's a world-class player ready to take up to next level. And that's coming out from the club. And it is about time. I'm absolutely buzzing. I'm ecstatic he's here. And I cannot wait to see him in the Red United shirt. It makes me happy that we are signing one of the best midfielders in the world. PSG are going to miss out here. And they can absolutely see their shiny new toy in João Neves. They can, bring him up on another level. I think what's happened here is we said to PSG, we won't go after João Neves if you do us a deal on Ugarte. That's, I think, what's going to happen. I don't think Man United will ruin Ugarte. I think Ugarte is going to go up to another level because you're not going to see Casemiro, you won't see Mount, and you won't see Eriksen again in United shirts. Those 3 players' careers are done. And if I was those 3, start looking for a move because you're not going to be here for much longer, lads. Ugarte's here to ruin you. Ugarte is a world-class, phenomenal signing, and I'm going to keep saying it. Manuel Ugarte is going to be a Man United player. Manuel Ugarte is going to be a Man United player. The boss we are going to get in our midfield is going to be phenomenal. He's got the attitude of Martinez. He dies for the badge. He dies for the shirt. He's going to put grit into this midfield that midfield's been missing. And it will progress Mainu. It will get Fernandes back in the midfield free. It will end the false 9 bullshit. Man United are going to go to another level. Man United are going to go to another level with Ugarte in his team. Watch that midfield speak terms of Scholes and Carrick, because that's what's going to happen. The next Roy Keane has been brought today. Manuel Ugarte to Manchester United. Here we go. We've got that deal agreed with PSG. Thank God. Literally thank God, because it's taken 2 months. I'm just buzzing. We have got this deal done. Manuel Ugarte will be a Manchester United player. So hit the like button on this live stream for Ugarte. Then to subscribe to the channel, United Red Devils 20. Share the video, hit the tweet button, and also retweet it as well. And remember, put the notification bell on at all times to receive dedicated content right throughout the rest of this year in 2024. So you've got plenty of brand new content planned, especially for you. Brand new videos, brand new shorts, brand new live streams. We've got more brand new gaming content coming as well. And we're going to have transfer deadline day covered. I don't think this is going to be it. I think we will have another here we go, and it will be Raheem Sterling, because this deal with Sancho to Chelsea, Sterling's United, this is going to happen. I think they'll do the swap deal. Sancho goes, we get Sterling. Chelsea can deal with the Sancho problem. We're getting Raheem Sterling, who is a Man United fan at heart. And he might work wonders for this team. You never know what could happen, but Manuel Ugarte to Manchester United, here we go. Let's celebrate on what has been a massive positive day, and more transfer news and news to come. Enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday evening. Stay safe. Be nice. Be kind to each other. You're all legends. You're all legendary. Manuel Ugarte to Manchester United is here we go.